Welcome to Creating Market Graphs for your blog. We're going to cover how to use Microsoft Excel and a screen capture program to create market graphs for you to use in your real estate blogging. By the time we're done with this video, you're going to be able to create your own market graphs. In order to do that, this short video is going to cover determining your objective, getting the data, cleaning the data, creating the pivot table report, cleaning the pivot table report, creating the graph, cleaning the graph, converting the graph to a picture file, and then finally posting it to your blog. The first step is determining your objective. No different than when you're writing your blog. You got to figure out ahead of time what you're trying to accomplish. What point do you wish to make? Can you use a market graph to emphasize your point? And how much time do you have for this report? So once you know what you're going to do, now you got to figure out where you're going to get your data. The MLS, tax records, from your company, or do you need to buy it from a third-party company? You've decided on where to get your data, you downloaded it, and you brought it into Microsoft Excel. So it's time to check the data out and make sure it's ready for our use. And we call this cleaning the data. Make sure there's no duplicate records or non-arm's length transactions or incomplete data sets. We want to make sure that the data set we've downloaded has all the fields filled out and all the information that we actually want to use in our report. The next step is creating a pivot table report. This pivot table report is a dynamite function. As you can see, when you hit that little button, it pulls this box up and it tells us, hey, we're going to use the whole set of data that you have here. Now we can limit it to a different range if we want, but you can see I have 1,955 records here that it's just going to burn right through and help us create a great graph. And then it says, where do you want to put this? You want to put it on this page or create a new sheet? We're going to let it create a new sheet. This function in Microsoft is very powerful, and I strongly recommend you mess around with this and really learn how to get comfortable with it. But since we said the first step was determining our objectives, we've already done that. I'm going to do a quick little pivot table that's going to tell me how many closings occurred by subdivision, by date. If I were trying to do that by hand, that would take forever. But watch how easy it is with this. First thing we're going to do is say, alright, let's bring down our subdivision. And we put that in a row label. And as you can see over here on the right now, the 6 subdivisions in this report have all been identified. So now what we want to do is figure out, and you can do this in absolutely any order that you want, is we're going to look for the sales date. So if I drag down the sales date to here, it's going to create a column heading with every single date in the system. Now, I don't really need every single date in the system, so by right-clicking on this, I can regroup the date fields. And right now, it was set up by day, but I'm going to go ahead and set this up by months and years. Once I do that, I hit OK. So now we have the months and the years ahead of time. Now we need the data. And so we need to count something. And we could put in sales price. We can put anything we want. Because we're only trying to count the number of houses sold, I usually put in a non-numeric field that I know has an entry in every single field. By putting in the address, it literally has counted the number of addresses for each year's, each month, and it has filled out our data set. Again, if this is a new tool to you, I recommend you practice, do a bunch of this. You will find it very easy to do once you've done it a couple, 10, 20 times. Now that we've done our pivot table, we've already grouped the dates. It's time to clean the data up so that we can arrange it for our charting function. The pivot table starts out as a field of all kinds of complex calculations, and what we want to do is just turn this into simple data. The easiest way I know of doing it is hitting a copy and paste on this thing and turning it into just raw data. In order to do that, I just come up to the upper corner, hit copy, then paste special, just paste the values, and all the formulas are now gone. In order to keep this video short, I'm going to really simplify this and just do a small graph on this. But now that we have the data, you can graph this for as long a period of time as you want. And at the end of this, I'll show you some of the graphs I've created from this data. Thanks again to Microsoft, we've got an easy tool for creating our graph. All we have to do is select a chart type, make sure our data's right, make sure our axis information's right, and then we're done. So let's take a look at how we do that. First, we highlight the data that we are wanting to graph. Then we go up and we hit Insert, choose the type of graph we want. On this one, I'm going to go ahead and choose a line graph, choose the style I want, and it creates the graph for us. One of the things we can see right away is our axis information isn't the dates that we'd like, so I'm going to show you how you clean that up. Right-clicking on the graph, we come up with Select Data, and over here is our horizontal axis category. We open up this screen, and all we have to do now is drag it on the fields that we want, hit OK, and we've got those fixed. Additionally, if we want to choose some different styles here, we can go right into the charting tools and do that. I strongly recommend that you mess around with this and learn how to get your charts looking real creative. I also like to move the chart into its own page. All I have to do is right click, hit Move Chart, and create a new sheet out of it. Now it's its own page. You can change the format, the plot area, change your background look like that, and you can continue to maneuver and manipulate the graph until it looks the way you want it to look. My recommendations are to make it a consistent style. It'll help you generate some kind of branding in your blogging if you consistently have the same graph style. You can add symbols and comments as needed, and then make sure the last thing you do is you adjust the size to fit the blog that you're posting it to. Some of the blogs can handle very wide pictures, some are relatively narrow. For me, I know I've got to keep mine right under 600 pixels in width to post to my real estate Tallahassee blog. You might have noticed in a blink of an eye my graph has improved. I spent about 5 minutes cleaning this up and getting it exactly how I wanted. Again, once you've used this program a while, you'll be able to fly through that. This makes for great practice. Go out there and find some charts and graphs that you like on the internet and work to where you can create the same kind of thing. But now comes the million-dollar question. How do I get this Excel chart into a picture file so that I can post it to my blog? Here's where I got some great news for you. If you want a great free screen capturing program, the one that I use is from WisdomSoft. It's called Screen Hunter, and what it does is it takes a picture of what's on your screen and helps you convert it to a picture file. So if you go to the address that you see there, www.wisdom-soft.com/sh/free.htm, download that program, install it, and you'll be able to do the same thing that I'm doing in capturing your screen shots to a picture file. All we have to do to activate our new tools, hit the F6 button. It brings up some crosshairs. We use it to pick our starting point. We use it to pick our ending point. And just like that, we've created a JPEG file called Screen Hunter 13 July 2012 50.jpg. And it's stored it on my desktop. Now, of course, I'm going to recommend that we go in and we change the name of that to something that's more SEO friendly, like Tallahassee Real Estate Market Graph 4. Now you can see when they upload that, that name's going to be in there instead of Screen Hunter, and that might give us a little bit more help on our SEO. Well, congratulations. You've now created your first market graph picture. All you have to do is post it to your blog like any other picture. I would love to see you stop by our real estate blog at www.realestateblogtallahassee.com and provide some input and some feedback on our own market share graphs. I post quite a few, so there'll be a great selection for you to consider for your site as well. Thank you for stopping by.